Some of the most common questions I get from lawyers are about how they should be writing their resumes for legal positions. And I think these are pretty common questions because most of the resume advice that's out there on the internet isn't targeted specifically to lawyers. So, today I'm going to share my top 3 tips for lawyers when they're writing resumes. I'm Annie Little of JDNation.com, and I help lawyers like you find and land your ideal job. And if that's something that you're interested in doing, please hit subscribe and hit the bell so that anytime I post a new video, you'll be notified. Okay, let's get started with the first resume writing tip for lawyers. Number 1, no fancy formatting for legal jobs. As you can probably imagine, legal recruiters and hiring managers do not have time to hunt around for the relevant information on your resume. They're used to finding information in specific places in a predictable format. Side note, if you're an attorney looking to switch careers, then we can talk about different formats for resumes. But this definitely applies to legal jobs. So, what does this mean for you? It means no graphics. It means no colors. It means no tables, no graphs, no charts. Okay? When it comes to applying for legal positions, traditional legal positions, boring always wins the day. So, legal resume writing tip number 2. What I want you to know here is that legal employers are nosy. And here's what I mean by that. They want to know everything about your legal employment background. So, 2 things to keep in mind here. This tip is a two-parter. So, the first part of this tip is that you need to be including every single job you've had since you graduated from law school because legal employers are nosy, right? So, here's what you need to do. You need to make sure that you are including the months and the years of all of your job positions. And I know there are some really, really good resume writing experts out there who will say if you have jobs that are more than 10 to 15 years old, you shouldn't include them. That doesn't apply when we're doing legal resumes. Part 2 of this second tip is that you need to address any gaps in employment that you may have had since law school. I know it seems a little intense, but here's the thing. If you just skip over these gaps in employment and hope nobody's going to notice, that's not what's going to happen. Legal employers will notice. And not only will they notice, but they're probably going to assume the worst and wonder, what could you be hiding? So, what does this mean for you from a practical standpoint? It means that first, you're going to need to track down all of the jobs that you've had since you've graduated from law school. Remember, months and years, because employers want to know everything. If you have any gaps, now is the time to come up with descriptions of what you did during that time. I'm not saying you need to make something up. If you took time off, you just need to state that you took time off. And you can use this as an opportunity to frame it in a favorable light. So, the third tip for writing lawyer resumes is all about having a list of your representative matters. Now, this is commonly referred to as a deal list among transactional attorneys, but I want this to be something that both transactional attorneys and litigators maintain for themselves. Okay. Transactional attorneys, though, this is a must have. Even if it's not included in a job description, share it. Recruiters will almost always request it. Litigators, this is a great way for you to keep track of all the cases that you've worked on, the specifics of what your contributions were, and of course, the ultimate outcome. And for transactional attorneys and litigators alike, it's also a wonderful resource for looking at the skills and accomplishments that you want to highlight for any given job application. Now, litigators, there is a must that you need to have in this sort of arena, and that's a professional writing sample. Better yet, more than one if you're experienced. This is something that almost always is asked for in a job description, and if not, you guessed it, a legal recruiter is going to ask you for one. One caveat on these writing samples. These are professional writing samples, meaning things that you've done during the course of your work as a lawyer. So it is incumbent on you to redact any sort of confidential information, client names, and anything from a non published case. All right, so what does this mean for you from a practical standpoint? This means that you need to go and set a recurring quarterly reminder in your calendar system so that you can go in, update your list of representative matters, anything new that you've started working on, any resolutions or updates to other matters that you've worked on in the past. And for you litigators, it's a great opportunity to take a look at your file of professional writing samples and see if you want to add or update anything you've got in there. So, those are my three top resume writing tips for lawyers. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, I would love if you could give this a thumbs up and also go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you're interested in more resume writing strategies that are geared specifically toward lawyers, you can watch my free masterclass, Three Simple Strategies for Uncovering Any Lawyer's Transferable Skills. I've linked it in the description below. And I'll be back soon with more career tips specifically for lawyers like you.